This is for the review for Test 1 in Advanced Functions and Modeling. We're going to cover questions 1 through 7 in this video. I'm breaking it up into 3 different ones just so if you know there's just one question you need to go for, you can get to it easily. So first of all, it says find the slope of the line passing through the points 6, -1, and -3, 5. Remember, the formula for finding slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if it helps, you can actually label these. This would be your first x, this would be your second x, your first y, and your second y. So y2 is 5 minus y1 is -1 over x2, -3, minus x1, which is 6. So you end up with 6 on top because those two negatives become positive, and -9 on the bottom. So when you reduce that, you get -2 over 3. So -2/3 is your slope. Question 2, write the equation of the line that has a slope of -3 and passes through 7, 5. I recommend you use the point slope formula that looks like this. You do y minus y1. So y1 is your y point right there. That's 5, your y coordinate. M is your slope. You're given that right here. It's -3. And then x minus 7, because 7 is the x value. So now I do need to simplify that, so I'm going to distribute the -3 to both of these and get y minus 5 equals -3x plus 21, because two negatives make a positive. Then the last step is to add 5 to both sides, so I end up with y equals -3x plus 26. Okay, number 3 is very similar, but what number 3 is doing is really forcing you to combine what you did in number 1 and in number 2. So we need to find the slope first, because the two things we must have for the equation of a line are a slope and a point. So we need to find the slope. So I do y2 minus y1. There we go. There we go. All right, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we get -3 on top and 9 on the bottom, so we get -1/3 for our slope. And then you can use either point that you want. You can use this one or this one when you're using the point slope form. And the point slope form again is right up here, so I'm using the same thing. And I get y minus, well, y1, I'm just going to use this one because it's first, doesn't matter though. Y minus 4 equals -1/3 times x plus 1. So then I distribute that -1/3, y minus 4 equals -1/3 x minus 1/3, and then add 4 to both sides. So I end up with y equals -1/3 x plus 11/3. -1/3 x plus 11/3. And then down here, number 4 should be very easy. Given the line y equals -8x minus 5, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept? The slope is always the number in front of x, so it's -8. And the y-intercept is the number by itself, which is -5. Alright, other side of the page, or sorry, as we move down the page, sketch a graph of y equals 5. Well, let's just go ahead and draw some coordinates for ourselves for both of these. Now y equals 5. Y equals is always a horizontal line. And 5 is positive, so it's going to be up here. So it would need to look something like that. And a rough sketch is completely fine. Now number 6 says sketch the graph of x equals -2. Well, x equals is always going to be a vertical line, and -2 is going to be over here. So it should look something like that. And finally, number 7, write the equation of the line passing through -8, 10 and parallel to y equals -3x plus 8. Okay, remember we need a slope and a point. So we have a point given to us right here, and what they're doing on the end of the question here is giving us information to figure out the slope. Parallel means same slope. Well, this line has a slope of -3, so that means our line also has a slope of -3. So we have a slope of negative 3 and a point of negative 8, 10. So I'm going to again use the point slope form and do y minus my y value equals my slope, which is negative 3, times x minus my x value, which actually is negative 8. So I'm going to go ahead and write this as two negatives make a positive. And I distribute the negative 3 and add 10 to both sides. So I get y equals negative 3x minus 14. And that's going to conclude the first part of this review. I'm going to do the two more parts in two different videos. So if you need help on any of the others, look to the other videos.